Hello, greetings to you. You're welcome to our channel, Touch Billions TV. And today we're actually going to be looking at the chart of gold, XAUUSD. And if you actually followed through, let's go to the 1-day time frame. So if you actually followed through on what happened last week, you'll see that there was a massive buy in the market. So what was the reason for the massive buy? Let's look at the Forex calendar. Now, there was news on Friday, the normal regular news that comes out, non-farm employment change news. And you could see that here on this particular, here we also had the unemployment change news as well. But then the most important focus was the non-farm employment change. So the previous chart was around 14K, and the forecast was around 106. That was the forecast. But then there was the actual figure that came out was 73. Now that was actually good. Now the measures change in the number of employed people during the previous months, excluding the farming industry, and actual greater than forecast is good for what's it called? Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Now, release monthly, usually on the first Friday after the month end. So the usual effect is if the actual is greater than the forecast, it's good for currency. Okay, so that was that. So, but then we saw a buy in the markets responding to the news according to the beliefs of traders. So know that news has massive impact in the direction of the markets, right? Because lots of trading decisions will be taken. And of course, if you are in line with the news, then trust me, you should also be making some good money as well from the markets. Now, moving forward, let's get to analyze the chart for today, which is the 4th of August 2025. So if we look at the 1 month here, we could clearly see that the markets tried to take out this liquidity here at this top point here, but then it came down again, went up again here, acted as some resistance, came down a little bit again, also acted as some resistance, came down, and same thing here. So the market is still trying to come to this very point because these are like massive liquidities at this point, right? So now if we look at the 1 week here, if we look at the 1 week here, we can see very clearly here that the market has actually been on an uptrend. You can see here the market has been going just way up, right? So the market has been on an uptrend, right? Good. So if we also look at the 1 day here, to some extent here on the 1 day, the market has been ranging between two zones. Let's say from this point here and this point here majorly, right? This point here, let's look at this point where they touched here majorly, this point here, right? So the market has been ranging on the 1 day chart. So we can call this a consolidation market at this particular zone, but we know that the market has been on an uptrend, right? When we looked at the 1 week time frame. Now we're doing top-down analysis, right? But then the market has actually been ranging between these zones, right? In as much as we saw a massive buy here, right? Still trying to probably come to this point and maybe go down more. We can't really tell. But then, of course, within this point, we saw a break of structure at this particular point here. We saw a break of structure, but let's keep our fingers crossed and just get to look at lower time frames as well. So we're just going to go to the 4 hours chart here. We're going to go to the 4 hours chart here and get to see what the market is probably going to do. Now, there have been a break of structure at these zones, right? There've been a break of structure at these zones here, break of structure here at this zone, right? So let's put it here. So there was a break. This is a 4 hours time frame, right? So there was a break of structure at this point here, right? Now the market also failed to break this previous low here, the market actually failed to break this previous low before we saw the mass, right? The market actually failed to break this previous low, right? It failed to break what? The previous low, right? So looking at that as well, we can also have a clear understanding of probably what this market is going to do. So what I'm looking at here in terms of a point for a direction, now we can see very clearly, hold on please. So we can see very clearly that the market is currently reacting at this zone here. So, but we'll look at it at a much lower time frame. So let's go to the 2 hours time frame here, right? So the market is currently reacting around this zone, right? And we are looking at, from the 2 hours time frame, there have been a clear downtrend from this high point here to this low point here. There've been a clear downtrend, but then the market failed to break this other previous low. So what are the points that we're looking at here on gold? What are the possible points that we're looking at here on gold that we can say, okay, these are possible entries that we are actually looking out for? So I'll be going to the 1 hour time frame to look at possible entries. Now, I'm looking at the tendency of seeing, okay, here we have a massive movement of the market from this zone. So we've seen a first clear break of structure here and another clear break of structure here. Now, the market can come to this point here. No, the market can come to this point here. Here, this is a possible point of entry, right? Because we have a very clear massive movement of institutions in the market, and this is a point of a fair value gap here, and we can have a clear break of structure at these zones here, couple break of structures at these zones here, right? Here. Now, of course, we know that trading is all about patience, right? So if you're looking at this point, you feel that the market will come, fill up this imbalance in the markets here, and give us a clear structure here. So we can be looking at this point here. Of course, our stop loss will be very tight, right? So this is like the first point we're looking at here for possible entries. Then, of course, the next point that we're actually going to be looking at here is actually this point at this very top here, right? This point here, this very point of high. So we can have this point here too. Clear resistance zones here. So here like this. So these are possible projections that we're looking at from here in the market. And we can have these zones here to pay attention to. Let me just put it here. So these are key levels that we're paying attention to, right? Key levels that we're paying attention to. So markets could come all the way down, break structures then and all that. But then these are key levels that we're looking at, in the markets, right? So fingers crossed, right? These are what we're looking at here, and seeing possibilities of the market just getting to do something incredible. So this is what I'm looking at, and I'm seeing on this gold, right? So of course there was a break of structure at this point here, covering that up generally, right here. So let's keep our fingers crossed and check out what the market will do. But then these are the points I'm seeing, and the parameters are, you can check this point here by the right hand side here. These are the parameters, right? So for the buy, we're looking at 3293819, and we're looking at 3419. So fingers crossed, this is what we're looking at for here. Incredible. So please, if you got value, do well to subscribe to the channel, do well to like the video, comment and all that. So if the market failed to come to this very point, it can also pick an entry from this point here. It can also pick an entry from this point here, right here. It can also pick an entry from this point here, right? So any of the zones are very, very good entries. Look at the 30 minutes time frame, okay? Any of these zones are very, very good entries for the market, right? Any of these zones are very good entries. You understand? And of course, let's not also forget a very good point here can also be a point for the market to just move up straight up, right? So we have for buy, we have 3 zones that we're looking at for. You know, this one here is the first zone, second zone, and third zones, right, for the buy. So that's just it. So if you're entering this point here, your stop loss would be at this region here, around 3310, while your entry will be at 3314. So this is just projections. You can also get to use this to confirm your own entry zones and all that. So please do well once again to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification, and know we're here to help you win. Thank you.